Gang, the election is next week. We have a serious choice to make. And there's some serious things going on in the news. We're going to talk about it right here tonight on Black Freethinkers. All right. Welcome back to Black Freethinkers. I got the lovely Miss Maya with me. So first off, gang, I messed up. We had the boys Stan Gray scheduled for like 2 weeks, and I messed up and I forgot to send them the link. And I thought I sent them the link, y'all. That's the thing is I've been congratulating myself. You know how you think you do something you ain't doing, you be congratulating yourself. Look at me, I scheduled 2 weeks early. I sent out the StreamYard links over the week. I'm like, I'm good. And then me and Maya sitting back here like, where's Stan? Yeah, I thought he would have been here by now. And then I'm like, oh my God, Maya, I never sent him the link. And he emailed me looking for it. So I messed up. That's on me. It's just my brain just sometimes it malfunctions, y'all. So look, me and Maya decided, this is the last episode we get to do before the election, and there's definitely been some things going on in the news that I wanted to talk to y'all about that I think are related to being a Black freethinker, because I actually think we live in really precarious times. And I think that, let's just put the disclaimer out there. Skeptic Haven is a nonprofit, and we're not here to endorse any particular party or candidate, but I definitely think we're going to talk about some of the candidates and what they've been saying in the news, and we're going to put it to y'all to think about how that might affect the Black non-believers in your life. So for those that don't know, the Republican candidate for president, Donald Trump, held a rally at Madison Square Garden over the weekend. And, before it happened, people were drawing comparisons to a 1939 rally that happened at Madison Square Garden that was actually a pro-Nazi rally. Mm-hmm. And while a lot of people were crying about how ridiculous that is or how unfair that is, it turns out they weren't really all that far off. Turns out they really, really weren't all that far off. And so I think any sort of sense of, well, maybe let's be charitable and let's just see. Maybe they'll do an MSG rally and it'll just be a traditional Trump rally. That might be close enough for my liking. But I think it's now clear that there were some especially despicable things said and done at that rally. And so we're going to talk about some of that. And there's an important point to all of this for me. One is that we need to be clear about what we're dealing with and what the real stakes are. So we're going to draw that out. And then the second thing is, to be honest, I don't think the anti-Black racism is like registering with people. Yeah. I saw it mentioned on Midas Touch, but I've seen a lot of other commentary that has talked about the way the right is going after certain groups, particularly within the context of this rally and racist things that have been said recently. And racism against Black people like doesn't even get, it's like, oh, the Puerto Rican thing was really messed up. What he said about the Haitians was really messed up. What he's saying about LGBTQ people is messed up. Don't forget about Roe v. Wade. And I'm just like, they hate Black people too. That was the original. That was the first. They've all, y'all new to this.
Yeah.
y'all need to take a number, get in line. So it's and it matters because the same way that when we talk about Roe v. Wade, we say it's really important that men stand up, show up, speak up, whatever, right? One, I don't even think of that really as even being so withdrawn, because when they take reproductive rights away from women, they take them away from everybody. When they take birthing people, they take them away from everybody. But it is similar in the sense that it really hurts to feel like bigotry against people like you isn't even registering, doesn't even care. People don't even care. It's not even part of the conversation anymore. And it kind of leaves you going, what the hell's going on? So first thing I want to do real quick is show just what the comparison really is to. All right, so this is called The Night at the Garden. It's a PBS production. We're not gonna play the whole thing, but I just want to go through and let people see some of the images. Right? This is it. This is actually literally a pro-Nazi rally from 1939 in Madison Square Garden. Okay? And you can see like just absolutely jam-packed. Okay? And there was chaos, right? Protest and like lots of issues outside, right? And the police, and they're all riled up. Tonight, pro-American rally. Wow, so different. There we go, doing the Nazi salute. Women just chilling, smoking. Look, then they're literally doing the Nazi procession. They got their little brown shirts on and everything. These are Americans, y'all. This is America. These are Americans literally showing their admiration and support of the SS. All right. So like, it's just, to me, it's just, this has happened here. This can happen here. And I want to get it a little bit away from the rhetoric and for people to see, no, we it's not hyperbole. We literally had a pro-Nazi rally in America in 1939. We were that far on the wrong side of history.
Yeah.
Had it all the way messed up.
There's a lot of pro-Nazi sentiment in America during the Second World War. I don't think people realize. I think people think that we were just out of it until we weren't, and then we got in because we were personally offended and aggrieved, and there was stuff like this was happening. There were a lot of people in Congress that were in support of the wrong side. I'm not a historian. I can't speak to it the way I'd like to, but I don't think people realize like how close we were to being on the other side. Or even having being an arm of that regime,
Yeah. And that's what it feels like is going on now. All right, so that's what we're gonna do. So people in the chat kind of know. that was there, and I was able to actually find his remarks. They're about 10 minutes, so I think we can go through them, and I'm sure there'll be plenty of opportunity to pause the tape and be
Oh
aghast
God,
at
right.
the terrible things this man is saying. But again, this is news. This is what's in the news about the election, and it's here's what I'm trying to do. If we're going to speak directly to it, again, we can't tell you who to vote for, but we can encourage you to vote. We can remind you that elections have consequences, and I think if you haven't yet done so, I think you need to think about what the choice in front of us really means as believers. Sorry, as non-believers. I think when one thing I don't let people tell me is that I live in a bubble. Because it's too many people that disagree with me in my life. Work, family, everywhere I turn. And I spend too much time consuming right-wing media for me to let somebody say that to me. But one of the things that's very clear if you watch enough Trump and CPAC rallies is everything is wrapped in the cross. God, 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 faith, 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 faith. And the godless left, which is exactly what they call them, are literally, I don't even want to say demonized, because demonizing people is trivial, because in their mind they make actual demons out of us. Like they talk about, it's like we're literal, not, they don't demonize it. Demonizing is you talk about somebody like they're bad, like they're negative. Like, no, they talk about it's like we're actually demons.
Yeah.
Like we are a cosmic supernatural threat to humanity. And so you got to get serious about that. And it's very clear that they also pretty much hate all the marginalized groups. And so I just don't know what it means for you to sit this one out or to cast a vote
For third
for
party.
anything other than somebody that has a chance to win and keep these people out of office.
Yeah. Um, this isn't the election to throw away your vote. And I've been there before. Until 2016, I always voted third party, and I think it was, just young me. I was in my 20s at the time. I had a misconception about what that meant. I did buy into, it's like, oh, well, we just need to get 5%. So we have more visibility, and then we can get you don't want to do that at the presidential level. If you want to vote Libertarian, Green Party, write-in, whatever, I highly encourage you to do that at the local level, because that's what is, even at the House and Senate level, honestly, because that's honestly what it's going to take to support a president. I want people to remember that presidents do not write laws. A president's job is to get buy-in from both the House and the Senate, to be able to wield influence and to get their agenda passed into legislation. So it has to go through the House and Senate. We're Senate and House. It can start either, and then the president signs off on it once both the House and Senate have signed off on it. then the president signs off. And if the president does not write legislation, and a lot of people may be thinking, well, what about what do you call those? The things that Trump wrote, like 128 of them, and then Biden had an executive. Oh my God, drawing a blank. I'm sorry, it's a long day. What is
Executive
the
order?
Order, yeah, the EOs. A lot of people are thinking like, well, what about the EOs? Like, I remember hearing a lot of people saying that Bernie Sanders could write healthcare for all as an EO. And I'm like, no, like, no, he could not. It's not how that happens. Like the ACA, Obama had to like work really hard at the ACA because it had to be a law. Like you can't do an EO for that. Like that's not, if that's what you think could have happened, or like, even it was 4 years ago when everybody was like, oh God.
I don't mean to sound like a jerk, but I think there's a lot of poor civics education in our community.
Oh, the force to vote. That's what I was thinking. Like the force to vote thing. And I'm like, that was going to fail too. There's a lot of, and that was my whole point. Like there's a whole lot of poor civics education about what the president does, what the president can do, what your congressperson has a right to do. Because I remember maybe 8 years ago, there's a lot of AOC hate. And it's just like, well, she's not doing this. And I'm like, she's one person. She's one person, and she's not even, and never, ever, ever was she their congressman. I was like, what is your congressman doing? What are you know, like while you're saying, hey, AOC, you should do this, what is your congressman doing to support her? Because she's like 1 out of 500 people that needs, I mean, and really we're like, is it 261 or something crazy like that?
And this is always the crazy thing. Why do you have critiques? Why do you have critiques of the most progressive people, and you don't have nothing to say about all the other jerks who are not even telling you that they want to even do progressive things to begin with? So it's like I don't even listen to people. I don't even want to talk to people like
that. But I mean, I talk to them all the time, and it's just trying to explain to people why they can't have what they think they want. I'm like, this isn't a viable plan or strategy. Like, it's not going to work the way you have it set up. I want to admonish everybody, and please don't take this the wrong way. Read a freaking book. I'm serious, like economics, government, just learn how things happen. If you want something to happen a certain way, you need to understand, like, what does that look like? Start to finish, is this feasible?
Yeah, and I'm biased, but I think with civics, it's like, get involved. Like,
and if you want third party, which is what I'm going back to, it needs to start locally, and two, if you have the charisma, you should do it. You need to be down there in the trenches, and on social media, on get your own show. We'll happily invite you on here.
I'll give you your two issues. Your two issues are the voting system. Like, you need to actually support changing the voting system. I'm a fan of star voting. I have my pet voting system. I think star voting is the best. Look into it. But there's ranked choice. I think star is like a sexier version of ranked choice. But you can do that at the local level. And a state like Maine even has, ranked choice
on
voting.
The state level,
on the state level, And so you could do this, and we get a patchwork now.
But there's other places that are doing it at the, the city and the county, county level. Sorry,
and that is actually what will really help third-party candidates actually have a fighting chance. And then the second is to get money out of politics.
Thank you. I was going to throw that in there if you didn't put it in.
Such that campaigns are actually publicly funded. Now, not only do third parties have a chance, they have equal resources as the two main parties. So
because there's a lot of people that wouldn't mind getting into politics. They don't have the funding.
And so a third
they
party
can't compete with the funding of bigger people.
100%. And so a third party that isn't fighting for those things in non-presidential election years is literally a grift. They're just trying to pop up every 4 years, figure out which party they're trying to siphon off votes from, and what they can do in that regard. And it's just they're I don't take them seriously because I know that is the work that needs to be done, and I just don't see them doing it.
Yeah, and I know we're not supposed to say anything about any party, but I don't see the Green Party doing anything during non-election years.
Oh no, she's the worst. They're the worst culprit of this.
You know, I want you to really think about like when you see them and what they actually do at election time. And I know it sounds sexy. It sounds like, oh, well, you know, I can believe in this platform. But I also want you to think about, okay, let's just say we get Jill Stein. I'm not, I have so many things to say about Jill Stein. Let's just say she goes into office, though. I'm sure she'll be a very lovely lady, but she's no one's there. There's no one to support her, right? Which means that she's either a lame duck president because she'll never be able to pass legislation. She'll only be as good as her EOs or, you know, whoever she puts into whatever office, you know, which is whatever. But also she will, if she gets anything done, it will be by caucusing with whichever party is, you know, if we have Republicans that have control of the House and Senate, she'll most likely caucus with them to get anything done. If it's Democrats, you know, but I don't.
The funny thing is, I honestly think they would caucus with the Republicans.
Yeah,
because let's be honest, the main goal of the Green, people should know this, the main goal of the Green Party, for all you that are out there thinking third party, is to cost Kamala Michigan. That's their goal. That's their mission. That is literally their top priority. So now tell me, when you literally take the potential to be the first female president from a woman of color and give us a second Trump administration, and you think what, you're going to show up on day one and Democrats are going to extend you open arms and say, "Oh, we're so glad you finally got a third party in there."
No, neither party is going to be gung ho. Neither party is going to be gung ho about that.
No, but that's
right. No, yeah, no,
yeah.
I know. I just, Republicans will welcome you as long as you're open to their agenda, be that, you know, whatever it is. And Jill Stein's only job right now is money for the Green Party, and I think she may try. I think she would try if the Democrats had control of both the House and the Senate. Do I think that that's a good or bad thing? We'd have to see her in action. I do think the Green Party is trying to do a power grab, so I could at this point see them trying to work with them. But again, if your goal is no Republican and no Democrat because you're just trying to choose between the lesser of two evils, one, there is a clear evil, and two, the Green Party is just at best, the Green Party is just going to caucus with one or the other. So you're not getting what you want.
No, and that's why you say it starts at the local level. And here's another thing that people probably don't want to hear. We have a really warped perception of politicians.
Yeah.
Most politicians are local politicians. You have 2 senators in your entire state. You have, you know, slightly more people in Congress, but you have more than that just in the state Senate and, you know, whatever the House of Representatives is called in your particular at the state level. Mm-hmm. Most politicians are local. School board, you know, city council, county commissioners, people like that. Mm-hmm. So there's a couple uncomfortable truths. Most of them are decent, hardworking people. Mm-hmm.
Especially at the local level.
Yeah, who are public servants because that's literally what they're passionate about. And the other thing is, there's no way any of this works without parties. The way our current system is set up, especially without getting the money out of politics, no one is electable without the parties. And this is the thing that third party people don't want to come to grips with. You're not offering anything at the state, county, or local level, which means there's no real path to a career in public service that way. The thing that's great about the parties, and it sounds crazy, but I'm not a rich person. But the thing is, I am in a position where I could do something like impress people locally and have them decide, you know what, we think you're good on education issues. We think we could get behind you, you know, running for school board, and they will provide the resources I need to be a viable candidate, right? And if I do a good job, they say, you know what, man, you did really good job. Like, will you ever think about running for city council? Right? And people don't realize that that's how it works for people. And that's the only game in town, because it costs millions of dollars to conduct an election. And so if you actually got rid of the part, people are like, oh, it'd be great. Wouldn't it be great if we got rid of political parties? No, it'd be terrible, because only rich people could get elected then. If we got rid of political parties, only billionaires get. If you want to get rid of the parties, you got to get rid of the money. You need publicly funded campaigns.
And if you want politicians who will do anything for you, like for the people, we know this for a fact, you have to get money out of politics, because it all started going downhill once we put money in politics, or more money into politics.
And more money, yeah.
You know, well, once corporations became people.
Effectively, yeah. All right, well, let's bring on the dirty jokes. So we're going to listen to the terrible comedian.
Yeah.
And there's definitely some things I want people to pay attention to. So, all right, here we go. Got to add this. All right, I can do this.
Wow, isn't this special? 17 years ago, I was sleeping in my car behind the Comedy Store in LA, and I'm proud to say this is my 4th time performing at Madison Square Garden, the most famous arena in the damn world. The American dream, alive and well, right here. This is very different than where I'm used to performing, though. I'm used to nighttime with people drinking, not so many babies in the crowd, and people that are obviously only here for Lee Greenwood tonight. Normally, I don't make my political beliefs a known thing. It's divisive for a comedian to do that, but just know I sleep well at night knowing who I'm voting for. Yeah.
I got to tell you, like, just right off the bat, we're going to be dealing with the promise. So when we said comedian, we should have put that in air quotes. I just think it's an observable fact that conservative comedy is not funny.
A lot of people have been noticing that too.
So yeah, be fair warned about that.
Railing against whatever they hate most, and people cheering them on.
Yeah, and I think there's a reason. There's a reason. Comedy is funny because it's a form of commiseration. It's a form of talking about what's going on in our lives, especially the things we feel like we have no power or control over. So comedy is inherently funny when you punch up. It's funny to make fun of the king. It's funny to make fun of the president. It's funny to make fun of the people who are in power. Conservatives are always punching down. So you're always usually white men making fun of marginalized groups. That's never going to be funny. It's just bad. It's just bigot. It's just in poor taste. It's just it's never going to be funny. You're always Christians making fun of other groups. Never going to be funny. Never going to be funny. And what they don't understand is that it's not a choice. You don't get to complain about this. You don't get to, like, it's not a thing where you go, they
complain about the situation you created.
Yes. And it's not a well, they make fun of us and people laugh, so we get to make fun of them and it's funny. It's like, it doesn't work that way. It's like, this is an inherent asymmetry in the way this society is set up, and as long as society is this way, conservative comedians are doomed to not be funny except in incredibly rare circumstances. Probably when they're unironically making fun of themselves.
Right. Well, that is funny.
Yeah. And then the other thing that I want people to pay attention to, and this is the part I want to be kind of serious to people, is it's not the comedian, it's the arena full of people. Right? I don't care that this one white guy tells racist jokes. I know lots of white guys that tell racist jokes. I care that this guy, literally less than 10 days before an election, is at a pro-fascist rally at Madison Square Garden, getting up here and telling these jokes to a predominantly white audience, and about 20,000 plus people are hooting and hollering. It's those 20,000 people that think this is something to hoot and hollering about. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I lay down and my head hits my pillow.
Yeah, see, he was unironically making fun of himself, right?
Right.
And he gotta laugh. He makes fun of himself and we can laugh. Yeah, like,
nobody buys my pillows anymore. Wait, good
Listen,
one.
if y'all don't want commercials in these things, y'all need to send in some super chats so we can get Skeptic Haven a YouTube premium account.
Just saying.
It is a fantastic pillow, by the way. I was staying at the Four Seasons up by Central Park one night, and I laid my head down, and it felt so good. And I thought to myself, what an amazing pillow. I have a little bit of money now. I could buy a good pillow. And I took the pillowcase off, and there it was. My pillow, my pillow, my pillow.
I guess so.
I bought
I
4
doubt
of them.
that. I think he's like making stuff up.
Yeah, you think? Yeah, he's just fodder. Yeah, I have a hard time believing that. I do too. Yeah,
And I think he's betting that most of those people didn't stay at the Four Seasons.
Boom! There it is. There it is.
And if you use the promo code KillTony, you can also buy 4 my pillows.
I'm doubling down.
There's serious stuff happening, people. I live in the great state of Texas now. 18 years in Ohio, 20 years in California, and I got to see California turn to absolute horrendous thing. And traveling the world, I got to see San Francisco turn into one of the most demented cities, one of the greatest downfalls I've ever seen.
They're always like punching down, well, trying to punch down or trying to bring down California.
I just don't understand their whole vibe. It's. I'm not done talking
California
about
is the most successful state in the nation, and it's Democrat. So we've got to pretend that all these horrible things are happening there because we can't get our head around, or 2, let our base know that
because we can't acknowledge acknowledge that Democrats can run a state successfully, and that it can be a good state. The thing that is so weird too is just, I thought you guys were supposed to be the Patriots, but all you ever do, Trump went to Detroit and just crapped all over Detroit. Like, did anybody tell him what a political rally is for? Like, why would you travel to Detroit to lose their vote? Like, you should have stayed home.
That's crazy. It's like, like going to, if you're a salesman and walking into your client's house and started telling your mama jokes.
And honestly, I don't even know if he's going to go there, but this is how much better at this that we are than he is. Right now, the World Series is being played between the Yankees and the Dodgers. If you want to find a way to crap on over California, you're in Madison Square Garden. Tell a World Series joke and crap all over California. It's timely. It's current affairs. Right. You'll get the hooting and hollering for all the Yankees fans there. But no, you're like, no, because then people will think it's sports about something. I want them to know how much we sincerely hate Californians. I want them to know how much I watch California turn into a wasteland. And then, of course, he goes straight for San Francisco. And I wonder what he doesn't like about San Francisco. I'm just so curious. What is it?
Yeah, what is it about San Francisco?
It must be those damn trolleys. I bet you those trolleys get the traffic backed up. It must be the trolleys.
Those whores. I'm sorry. Wait. Step to cave and taking that
Molly, no, we were talking about the trolleys.
back.
And that is where the other candidate worked for 2 decades. And it's absolutely wild to see. And in Texas, stuff is really, really crazy. We're right there by a wide open border. Where are my proud Latinos at tonight?
I'm by
You
an
guys see what
open
I
border.
mean? It's wide open. There's so many of them.
Yeah, it's just California.
absolutely
California is the only
incredible.
one, the only border state.
It's the only one.
Only
It's the only
one.
one.
Yeah.
And,
So-
and again, this is another thing that he kind of did here. Where are all my Latinos at? Oh, see how the borders are, how open the borders are. There's so many of them, right?
Yeah, and even the Latinos know that the open borders is horrible.
But did he say where are my Europeans at?
No,
No. Did he say where are my Canadians?
no.
Nope. So every time there's a border issue, it's the southern border. It's always the southern border, and it's people who look a certain way that we really don't. And again, it's just so like I'm done with this. At least again, have the decency to say, pretend you don't want Canadians here. Pretend you don't want yours to just say, hey, we're because look, I will tell you this. One thing that actually got me to understand the new right a little bit better was to understand nationalism. They are nationalists, but then be nationalist about it. Like literally
Right.
just say, we want to seal off the borders. We want to make everybody go through the testing and all the processes and the blase and the glavinoids. And that's like, no. It's very clear they want to do the racist thing. And,
Yeah.
and I get really tired of people pretending it's anything else.
And the way he's talking about California too, we're talking about, that's where we keep all of our Mexicans and gays, right? I mean, because he was very specific to state, San Francisco, and then the border. Like, I want you to know. Oh, and if you didn't know what I mean by the border, where are my Latinos at?
Exactly.
Like, California is a host state because of San Francisco and the border. That's why that is the only reason why California is a host state. And we go over like all the issues. They don't have any of the issues. They don't have any issues with all of California's issues with police brutality. You'll never hear them complaining about that. They don't have any issues with California, not
the housing crisis.
Yeah, and not standing by their homeless. You will never hear them talking about that. No, it's always San Francisco and that border.
That's such a great point, Maya.
Believe it or not, people, I welcome migrants to the United States of America with open arms.
Cool.
And by open arms, I mean like this.
That right there.
Go back, gang. The joke is go back to where you came from.
Yeah, don't come here.
The joke is go back to where you came from.
Yeah.
You are on a stage at Madison Square Garden representing a man, a New Yorker, a man from New York who is running for president of the United States. And you think in the state of New York, home of Ellis Island, go back to where you came from is a good joke. That's these people.
And you would think it would get more of a reaction from them, from that base. And they seem even kind of like pensive to laugh. Maybe it's just me. I don't know.
I think they're like, I didn't know we were actually going to go here. Like, I didn't know, and it's weird. It's
weird. That's for damn sure.
And I think this is the problem. It's like, say what you want about Kamala. She's trying to build a coalition. It's very clear. She's trying to she's like, I want everybody's vote and we're going to do this together. They need the same thing on the other side. They can't win this without a broad coalition of support and votes, but their base is just so vile that when they start appealing to them, it only appeals to them.
Yeah, I mean, and they've made a very strategic plan to only appeal to a certain demographic, and their other plan is to marginalize and prevent from voting, gerrymander, everyone else, which is so, it's just weird. Like, if they would even be a little more accommodating, they could pull away the numbers from the Black and Hispanics that they needed.
Yeah. And
they just refuse.
Ooh.
They refuse.
I know. Right, Ma, you say this a lot, but like, our people, unfortunately,
they
are under-resourced ourselves, and unfortunately,
they could have half of us if they would just, stop. They're just noticeably trying to unalive us. If they would just stop that part. Like the noticeably part, though, right? Like
just the noticeably part. Just the noticeably part.
Trying to unalive us. Like, that would be enough for Black conservatives to be like, well, plausible deniability. And they would vote for them. They can't do that much.
Yeah, and to your point, one group that they have made advances with is Latino voters, ironically. Mm-hmm. And they've done so largely by appealing to the fact that most of them are Christian and conservatives. Mm-hmm. And they could do the same exact thing with Black people. Most Black people are literally evangelical right-wingers underneath it all. It's just that the Republican Party is so racist they can't vote for them. If you were just like 17% less racist, they would jump so fast because they believe in all your message already. They're on board with all the like, let God kingdom rule over everything. They're on board. They'd be happy to jump ship. You just don't kill them. Just don't. Yeah. They didn't like watch you like slitting the throat and like offing Herman Cain. They'd be there already.
Seriously, but can't do that much.
Yeah, it's tough. All right, let's see.
It's wild. And these Latinos, they love making babies too. Just know that. They do.
Oh, here's something else I want to say. And I'm sorry, I just have to be real about this. So you might be worried about the Mexicans. They like to smoke the reefer, and they're gonna bring over the whatevers and the MS-13s, and do you know how much MS-13 has ever harassed me in my life? Yeah, none. But look, white people, let me tell you something. Yeah, when you came over here, you genocided and disinherited an entire people,
like 3 million, I want to say,
of their nation.
Yeah.
And you brought all your gross European diseases with you. And so whoever you didn't kill, your diseases that you brought with you probably wiped them out. Then you hopped your tails across that Atlantic Ocean and you enslaved Africans. And then you brought them back over to do your work for you because you were also lazy. You were monstrous, barbaric, and lazy. And you didn't want to you literally didn't want to tend your own crops. You literally didn't want to work your own fields. Okay? So when you get up and talk about go back to where you came from, don't bring that to me because we're going to have that conversation. We could have the conversation of who really should go back to where they came from because they've been a terror ever since they got here. You don't want to have this conversation with me because I'm not feeling that joke. Go back to where you came from. What?
Right.
Them people ain't doing nothing to harm me. Nothing.
They do. There's no pulling out. They don't do that. They come inside just like they did to our country.
What?
Republicans are the party with a good sense of humor. Free speech is under
that
attack,
was funny.
People. I host a show, and each week I get updates what words we're allowed to use and not use anymore. It's happening right now the past few years. It's a real thing.
I mean, what do you mean anymore? Like, we're able to use more words on TV now than we ever have before. Like, did that like escape him?
It's crazy. You can say almost anything, and the thing is, you know,
I mean,
for
there was a
that,
time in history where a married couple were not allowed to be shown in bed in the same bed. Like they had to be in twin beds with like a nightstand between them, and that was like a federal law.
yo, it's so crazy when you go back and look at like old TV and like the crazy things you see because of the rules. It's just so obvious that when they say these things, they literally mean we can't say hateful things anymore. They're really mad that they just can't say hateful things anymore. It's so weird because everything else is pretty good to go. I host a YouTube show. I curse a lot. I try not to do that here because this isn't my channel.
The struggle is
The
real.
struggle is real. The struggle is real, but we do our best to remember this is not our channel.
Yes.
But it's just the point to say I don't think heavily censoring messages is that much of a concern if you're not spewing hate speech, which is I think this guy's real problem.
You know, I mean, so I get on, I cuss like a sailor, right? I all kinds of like sexual innuendos all through my stream. We talk about everything that YouTube doesn't want me to talk about. And I've never offended a non-bigot. It's just, it's not hard. It's really not hard. And when on occasion I'll say or do something and people will say, hey, we don't do that anymore. And I'm like, oh, I apologize. Just don't do it anymore. And I don't. They're not mad. Like, I don't get mad because they said something to me. We move forward with an understanding. It's really free. I mean, again, it's the whole swinging your right to swing your arms ends at the tip of my nose. You don't have the right to offend other people. And God knows, like the amount of pearl clutching they do whenever they're offended, or the amount of their own stuff that they burn whenever they're offended. Like you would think they would just like, hey, understand the concept of reciprocity. No. I don't have my full rights unless I can offend you too.
That's absolutely correct. 100%.
I'm sorry, you held up a couple of things, and when I wanted to, I'll find it and come back to it.
Okay.
And, used to be able to tell people to Google stuff. My mom's a boomer in the state of Ohio, and there's no convincing her of anything. She's eating the cats. She's eating the dogs. They're eating the pets up there. It is absolutely wild times.
What? Okay. So, all right.
He's saying that his mom is Haitian. I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Ohio, and there's no convincing her of anything. She's eating the cats. She's eating the dogs. They're eating the pets up there.
So what I guess I don't understand about this is, it's in jest, but again, it's like it's no self-awareness. That's supposed to be funny if you realize that it's ridiculous to say that people are eating the cats and eating the dogs, but it's your campaign that said they're eating the cats and eating the dogs.
And would not take it back.
And would not take it back even when fact checked on it.
Yeah.
For them, so this is what I mean. This is when, and feel me on this, y'all. This is when it feels like they're laughing in your face. Like they know that they're ridiculous. And when they're all in a room together, they can laugh at it. But then when they get back in the streets, they're going to defend it like it's serious.
Right.
It's just
is absolutely wild times. It really, really is. And there's a lot going on. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico. Okay, all
Puerto
right.
Ricans are Americans.
Okay, we're getting there.
What the hell?
No,
Yeah.
normally.
Yes.
You're in New York, dude.
Yes.
Like, is there? I mean, I could be wrong, but is there like a city with a bigger population of Puerto Ricans?
I was
Like,
gonna say
oh my
that
God.
I think I would imagine the states with the most Puerto Ricans would probably be. New York's got to be in top 5. It's got to be up there, right? Like it's got to be New York, probably Cali. I don't know, but I
I
would
mean,
think it's
like,
high. I know there's a lot in New Jersey where I live. I would go
is
over New
there a New
Jersey.
Yorker that doesn't personally know a Puerto Rican?
I
And
know.
like, what are
No,
you doing?
I don't understand.
And I like. I'm assuming these bits get vetted first. I mean, hell, even the Tonight Show does that. Is he just allowed to say things? I mean, people like listen to all of this and
They
they're
had to,
like,
and again,
Puerto
let's not be
Ricans,
clear.
you know, are
They knew, they went out of their way to get him. This was the guy. They had the right. There's no way they don't review all this guy's stuff and then decide, hey, we got this guy's the best. He's gonna give the MAGA exactly what they want. And so yeah, I mean, again, he's just in New York City, absolutely insulting. Uh, an entire population of United States citizens who appropriately have responded with a lot of anger, and it's good. Like like a lot of Puerto Rican celebrities have come out and endorsed Kamala.
Mhm.
They shared those endorsements with their millions and millions of followers. So I do think there have been consequences for this, but it's beyond that. For me, it's I don't want to be civilized with people like this. I don't want to be friends with them. If they live in my neighborhood, they're not people I consider my neighbors. To the extent that I work with people like this. So like when I go on campus, there's always a car I pass that's got Trump Vance bumper sticker on it. And today I saw the person actually driving it, like pulling out of the parking lot. Pretty sure it was probably a priest. And it took every ounce of strength to just not give them the double middle finger. I was like, yeah, I'm probably on campus. I should be civilized.
yes, the
That's it.
job.
Like
Yes.
that's about all the energy I have for these people is that like in places that require civility or else consequences for me, I
Mhm.
might not curse you out. Like
Yeah.
that's all.
Yeah. And I'm there too, where, you know, I had on a friend last night and she was like, oh, we were talking about, so, David Icke is POS. And last time I had him on, we were talking about his anti-Semitic comments, and which is what he's known for. And I think it was lost on people that like the comments he was making last night aired 11 days ago, and it was just filled with Black racist nonsense, like just the whole thing. And kind of like, and I was thinking about that when you were talking earlier, like a lot of the black racism is just being like the dog whistles look different. And so I think that people aren't really understanding, like it's not this blatant anymore, right?
People think they don't call us the N-word, so they're not racist. That's what
Right,
people
right.
think.
Or you don't know what's in their heart, so you don't know if they're racist. And I'm like, that's not what we're talking about. I'm not saying that if you are, but again, I don't care what's in your heart. And I understand that there's going to be people who don't understand what I mean there, but I don't. You can hate me. You don't have to like marry me. You don't have to invite me into your home for Thanksgiving. You may have to hire me. You may have to let me into your schools. You do have to stay out of my way as I pursue those efforts and work my way up the corporate ladder. I don't care what's in your heart. I care what's in your actions. And this is a very strong message.
And
Even if this guy, and like, this is like what Trump was doing in his first term, where it's just like, oh, he's just saying things to appeal to certain people so they'll, do you really think he's racist? Nobody asks me that anymore, by the way. However, like, for people like this, I really, really want you to understand that it's not just one group. Nobody hates just one group. If they're being bigoted towards one group, they generally feel that way towards all other groups, even Black people. If you see them, talking negatively about, the LGBT community, they probably think that all Hispanics are Mexicans, and they're all, lazy. Bigots hold to unrealistic expectations of others.
Yeah.
And I need people to understand, like, it's not like, especially Black people, and I don't mean to cut you off, but like,
good.
I don't know if there's ever a Black person that comes through here and they're just like, well, they're not doing anything against Black people. Wait for it. Right now, it's you kind of well known and ubiquitous, or like everybody's agreed that you don't say the N-word, you don't be mean to Black people. However, they do the same thing to all of us, right? So right now we see the same things that they were saying about segregation. Well, we don't want to integrate public restrooms because, do you really want Black people or Black women in the same restrooms as our precious white women? It's just regurgitated, and a lot of things that they say about the Jews, they say about the Black people and the LGBT, and it's just all the same thing. It's all the same bigotry. It's all, they want to keep us stupid so that they can reuse the same rhetoric, and so that we don't understand that they're doing all this stuff by the old, Third Reich playbook. I want everybody to be really understand that it's never, ever just one group, ever. But for this POS, which he deserves such stronger words,
Yes.
to say that Puerto Rico is an island of garbage.
An island of garbage.
They're Americans.
They're Americans.
They are Americans. They are unrepresented U.S. citizens. They want to be a state. And if you think that is a pile of garbage, then your only stance should be that they should be allowed statehood and representation in Congress. And you don't, you bigoted hypocrites. And if I say anything else stronger, I'll probably never be invited back on the channel.
I have a question that I need answered real quick from the Google machine, but the Google machine's not. Oh, what's going on with my thing? Okay. Hawaii has a graduated state individual income tax with rates ranging from 1.4% to 11%. Hawaii has a graduated corporate income tax with rates ranging from 4.4 to 6.4%. Doesn't that sound like taxation without representation to you? Why isn't anybody up in arms about the fact that, see, it's just, this is what I'm talking about. It's just the blatant things that you could just point to and be like, these people are not serious. Please get them out of my face.
Right.
I wanted to talk about something else that's the reality of this, and it's the reality to me of being Black. Mm-hmm. So you hear this stuff come out, and you hear the complaints about it. So right now Puerto Ricans they're real mad, big mad.
They have every right to be.
They do. For the last while, Haitians have been big mad. Every right to be.
Every right to be.
Israel, Palestinians, big mad. Every right to be. There comes a point 100%. As Black people, though, I have a tendency to look at these things and go, where the hell have you been? because they've been talking about us like this. They've been disenfranchising us. They've been doing this shit to us. They've been killing us. And then I realize not only did you not care when it wasn't happening to you, you were fine getting in on it when we were making fun of the black people. When it comes to putting black people down, oh, don't get me started on Puerto Ricans. They get all types of racist. A lot of these groups, you know, they tell me all the time, Jay, don't go to the Middle East. You're not gonna have a good time. You know, I have Egyptian friends tell me, man, oh goodness, my people are so fucking racist. So you go into these groups and you realize that anti-black racism is everywhere.
Oh yeah.
And then it's these same groups that, because the anti-black racism was so strong that if you could be on the other side of it, you had to be. Mm-hmm. So if you were in any of these groups that could pass for white,
right,
or at least keep yourself as far away from being treated like black people as possible, mm-hmm. the better.
Right.
But now what's happening as everything has gotten so heightened and we've started to play so many more culture war games and everything's getting tense again, part of what's happening is the real conservative whites are now policing again. They're now going, wait, ain't you from the Middle East technically? Well, Egypt ain't really, you're not really white if you're from Egypt. Technically, aren't you from Africa if you're from Egypt? Right? And so now there's all these other groups and they're going, wait, you mean us? Wait, what, no, but you, right? And so now they roughing these other groups up. And now they're like, how could y'all let this happen? They're being racist against us. This is so wrong. And we just sitting there like, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I understand the pensiveness of black people to jump into the fray. I really do, because when it was us, we deserved it.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Which is why I went on that last rant. I'm like, it will be us again. And
no.
Our only option is to stand by everybody else. And I've seen it even in this community where it's just like, you know, I feel like I'm standing with a lot of people who aren't standing by me, or, you know, is it just me? Is there something, you know, I mean, I understand if like I'm in a room and somebody's saying bigoted stuff and it's just like, oh, well, Maya's here. Okay, but like, are we just letting bigoted stuff fly when I'm not here? Like, I'm not feeling the love here.
Yeah.
I mean, I really feel like people are too uncomfortable to make, I don't want to make waves, you know, like even if it's for a bigot, I just want everybody to be comfortable. But like, if a Nazi feels comfortable in a party, it's a Nazi party. Like, you're comfortable with that? Like, what the actual, you know, I don't know. I'm not trying to call anybody out. It's just, I think we need to be more comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because all of us have a thing. You know, if you're a woman, if you're a non-believer, you know, I know in the poem it says first they came for the socialist, which is not true. But I mean, you know, one day you're going to be old. You know, if you're not registered with the right party, it just in some way or shape or form, it's going to be you. And I just really need people to understand that an attack on anybody is an attack on them.
Yeah. And then also that's kind of what I was getting at, is that I think we do show up for other people, and we're trying to do that here. Like, you know, we'll pause and give a lot of attention to the hateful things they say about other people and other groups. I just wish those groups did the same thing when they said anti-black things. Like, hey, you know, and I think that's why we keep cooperating, because we hope that, I hate to say this, but we hope that as unfortunately, it's better late than never. We hope that after they do feel the sting and they are at the tip of the spear, okay, now you're ready to come over here and cooperate, and help us build a coalition of people trying to fight for everybody's rights. So I'm not at all suggesting that we don't continue to show up for people. It's just I just really want to see the other people that are now feeling it realize that we can't afford for you to now be anti-black racist yourself. Like, you can't do that no more. Now you realize they ain't messing with you neither. So come over here with us.
And I do want to speak to something going on in the chat here. I hear you when you're saying poor whites, but the poor, regardless of color, share a whole lot, like a whole lot. And the goal, we'll talk about like these individual things that he's going to bring up to divide us, but like the whole goal is to make a marginalized majority of poor people. So it really doesn't matter whether they're a minority or not, that it is the goal, and it's definitely
and the problem is we got probably well taken care of, well paid comedian in a suit and tie who's probably surrounded by 20,000, let's face it, mostly poor whites,
right,
who are just they cannot wait to cast their vote to keep everybody else down, including themselves, without any sense of the irony that literally, because literally they want to support their billionaire god king who doesn't care about any of them. So this is all very interesting. All right, can we roll some tape, or you got something else, Mike? All right, cool.
No.
I don't follow the national anthem, everybody. This isn't exactly a perfect comedy setup. There's some people here. All right, very good. I like it. I have other policies.
All right, real quick, just no sense of irony. Yeah, you follow the national anthem and then shit on California, called Puerto Rico island of garbage. Like, patriots, just real. I feel the patriotism. I'm
real
just
patriots.
feeling the patriotism.
It should be implemented.
Nobody's
as well.
an American
But
except
me personally,
us.
I think football should be all year round.
Exactly.
Yeah. So many great athletes. I don't know about you guys, but I think that track.
Again, not even just. Do you watch football? Because if you watch football, big story in football is concussions and how Tua Tagovailoa, the quarterback for the Miami Dolphins, like might die if he takes a big hit again. Just weird thing to say right now, because I can't turn on anything about football and not talk about concussions. And we won't even let kids play tackle football anymore. It's like, I think football should be year round. Y'all are just the worst people. I'm a football fan. Uncle Bobby's a football player. We wouldn't even say no dumb shit like that. Professional football players wouldn't say no dumb shit like that. What are you talking
Travis
about?
Kelce
What are you
might
talking
be the next
about?
O.J. Simpson.
What the fuck?
Wow.
Please.
I don't even get it. I don't even what's he might be a murderer? I don't.
Like, I mean, yeah, just.
I'm so confused.
Beat his girlfriend. Yeah, which. Why would you? I don't understand conservative comedy. I don't even know how to call it that.
And again, like, they also, okay, let's call another thing. They don't like studying, and they don't tend to prepare for things other people do. But this is the type of thing that if you actually take a writing class or a acting class or maybe a comedy class, you learn certain things. Like, people don't like to watch people suffer. There's certain things you don't write about. There's certain things you don't see. Like, notice you don't see a lot of essay scenes in a lot of movies. There has to be an extraordinary, compelling reason to include a scene like that in a movie, because most people know you just don't lie. People don't want to pay you money and popcorn while they see that. That's not a good thing to do. Yeah, you don't normally tell jokes like this. Oh yeah, he's gonna be at the next. Like, what's funny about that? What is that?
Well,
Like, I don't even get the
Travis
joke.
Kelce is dating Taylor Swift, and Taylor Swift told her fans to register to vote, and they did in high numbers, which now, you know, and the more people that vote threatens their power. So he's hoping, he's actually saying he's hoping that he will be, which is freaking disgusting.
It's
when
just weird.
His girlfriend, the reason they hate his girlfriend is for supporting democracy.
Pretty much. So weird. So maybe her boyfriend will kill her someday. Awesome.
Yeah, to shut her up. I mean, that's
Wow.
what he's saying.
Wow.
Feels good in here. The other side's got a lot of crazy endorsements. Swift, Eminem, Leo DiCaprio, Beyonce.
Yep.
Every day the Democratic Party looks more and more like a P. Diddy party. Oh,
we do know what that. Okay. No, this is a PDF joke.
Yeah, well, the Diddy parties, and I guess it's the, you know, the freak offs.
Well, no, you know, what do you call it? So the Democrat. So there's a big. He doesn't strike me as an evangelical, but you know, like their big thing is like a vote for a Democrat is a vote for Satan, but it also kind of sounds like a throw to QAnon.
Yeah.
To QAnon supporters out there who think that all Democrats are child essayers.
Yeah.
And so we know that P. Diddy, what do you call it, is a essayer. You know, Do I have to say allegedly?
Sure. Yeah. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah. We're
And so
trying to
now
keep. We're trying to protect Skeptic Haven.
We really are. Like if we were simul streaming to ours, like this would, like, it would really sound like a P. Diddy party, because like we're just like, man, letting f bombs and like the rhetoric fly off the wall. But like the thing is, yeah, they're saying that, you know, one, all Dems are PDF files, and all what do you call it? And then at first I thought it was going to be a black joke, but he did throw a couple of white people in there, so I'm not.
No, it's more of a all celebrities type of deal. But what's interesting is, so Beyonce is married to Jay-Z, and Jay-Z and Diddy definitely have a lot of history. Taylor Swift, some of these other people we know, I'm sure they know Diddy, but you know how involved they are, we don't know. You know what we are getting reports though? We're getting reports that Donald Trump and Epstein were like
really close.
buddy, and played little essay games together and all this type of stuff.
Trump has said, he's all but said that he's not releasing the Epstein documents.
Yes, and
I wonder why.
And he's been, you know, himself accused credibly by dozens of women. So again, it's just this thing where like, am I really supposed to sit here and feel like you own the libs by mentioning some celebrities who know Puff Daddy, versus, again, you are talking behind a podium that says Trump will fix it, and we know about Trump for sure. So like, this is the thing, like, I'm just done with these people, like, because it's why would you even bring this up? Why would you even go there? No, normal people don't do that. Normally, if you are guilty of chopping people up in your kitchen and like throwing them in the walk-in freezer, like, you don't make jokes about chopping people up and stuffing them in appliances. Like, you were like, the Democrats are gonna chop up your kids and throw them in your washing machine. You'd be like, buddy, did you not read the story about, like, it's just, this is where we're at with these people. They literally are cute. Like, I can't. I just can't. And they're gonna vote for him. They're gonna vote for Trump. They are going to vote for Trump. They know Trump is an essayer. They know it.
Mm-hmm.
They know it. They know it.
Yeah, and
He's
they don't
joked
care.
about it. He's bragged about it. So what are we talking about? And so, gang, I hope y'all are catching the vibes. This is why when people were comparing this to the 1939 Nazi rally, they were not too far off.
Hey, that's what you guys want. All right. Heck yeah. It's cool. Black guy with a thing on his head. What the hell is that?
Now, notice. Oh, I told the Diddy joke. Oh, that's what you guys want. Right, they peaked up, right?
You know what?
So now he goes, oh, there's a black guy out here. He literally is saying to the audience, oh, you guys want me to crap on black people? Let's start talking about black people.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I'm going to ask this again. I don't think this set was approved by anybody.
I don't either. I don't know.
I'm not trying to give, I mean, I'm not trying to give like more credit than it's due here.
No, they messed up. They did one of two things. They either did approve of his set, or they saw his previous material, knew exactly what kind of jokes he was going to tell, and hired him. So
yeah, but like it looks like he's kind of like trying different angles to try to see what this crowd is into. And so if he's going to then now change up and go into, okay, you like black jokes, so I'm going to stick with those. It kind of seems like he's giving more freedom than.
I will say this. So sometimes comedians do have options. They can get more approved than whatever. And like bands do the same thing. Bands oftentimes have different directions we can take a show in, and the band is ready for that. And then also comedians are really good at pretending that they're improvising when they're not. So this could just be his planned set. He got the Diddy reaction. He throws in the, oh, so you guys really like that, and then he just goes on to the rest of his black material. So you could be right. I'm just for context.
No,
who knows? It could be.
No, that's fair as well.
Yeah.
Shade, look at this guy. Oh my goodness.
I guess he's talking about his hat.
Yeah, or
I'm just kidding.
whatever's
That's
on
one of my
head.
buddies. He had a Halloween party last night. We had fun. We carved watermelons together. It was awesome.
All right.
This is a groany
Wink.
little morning crowd, huh?
Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but I know for me and Maya, that was highly offensive.
Yeah.
That literally just took me back to the 90s, being the only black kid in all white schools, all the watermelon and fried chicken jokes.
Oh my
Also, can I just say something? White people, y'all love watermelon and fried chicken.
Everybody loves watermelon.
Do you really think, thank you, but do you really think there'd be watermelons and chickens in grocery stores across America? Do you think there'd be 17 different fried fast food chains dedicated to fried chicken to serve black people? Does that sound economically feasible to anybody in the audience? Because if so, then you're really dumb.
And also, I want to bring up, like, after slavery, there were there were black cities, and a lot of them didn't fare so well, but like the black people in like the South that were just kind of like not part of the big cities, like a lot of what they would do is sell watermelon. Kind of like you would see, I don't know if you're in a big city, a lot of times you see guys selling water bottles, or I don't know, in Baltimore a lot. So like we see guys selling watermelons, not watermelons, roses, flowers, bean pies, bottles of water in the summer, just, getting their hustle on.
Yeah.
And, they would do that back in the day. And so like one of the easier things that, but ubiquitous, it was, were black people selling watermelons in the summertime. To the point where, they became known for it. And it quickly became a racist trope. And it's just odd that it's kept up on through today, because it's been a good 100 years now. to the point where like Black people didn't even feel comfortable selling watermelons because it was like such a derogatory, demeaning profession at a point.
Okay, here's the thing for me that I think, and I think talking to you about this helped me put this together. But when I say that joke took me back to the 90s, it really did. Not only was I the only Black kid in all high school, I actually worked at KFC at one point. So, oh my God.
Oh God.
I love it.
I probably wouldn't have done it just because of the stereotype.
Yeah, I didn't want to because of the stereotypes.
Well, because you and I both went to Catholic school, so I was very aware of like everything I did, and very aware of like not doing anything that would play into Black stereotypes.
Yeah,
because they were looking for any reason. Yeah,
no, I was the same way. It's just that they were the only place that would hire at 15, and my mom really wanted me to start working like as soon as possible.
I'm not judging you.
No, I hated that aspect of it. But I say that to say that like it was the height of that era, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the watermelon and chicken jokes, y'all, they were the first wave beyond the N-word, right? Like the watermelon and chicken jokes were just barely not calling us the N-word.
Yeah, barely. Like barely.
Right, just barely not calling us the N-word. And so what I'm realizing now is him saying this now in 2024, people need to wake up. This is basically them going right back to toe that line right up to the N-word. We can't say the N-word, but we're gonna toe right back up to that line, and we're gonna stop right there. You can't say because, but we're gonna be right there. I guarantee you. Let me tell you, folks. That man would not make a watermelon chicken a joke to my face.
No.
Because Seton Hall would have to fire me. They would need somebody to cover my classes. He would not make that joke to Uncle Bobby's face. Yeah, Uncle Bobby would need a substitute women's self-defense instructor because Uncle Bobby ripped this man's face off his head.
I don't even, if you saw Uncle Bobby, I don't even think he'd try.
But you just this is bad, folks. I don't know if I don't even
know how to explain how bad it is. Yeah,
it's bad.
And Jay's not exaggerating. It is like, I don't know, because I came up, in the 90s too, and it was, I don't know what it was like in any other era, but like back then, I mean, it was almost tantamount. It's like, I'm not gonna say
it was the same.
It was, I mean, it's like, Chris Rock has this joke where he's like, I feel insulted whenever I used to feel insulted whenever I had a minimum wage paying job, because what the minimum wage is the employer telling you, I would pay you more if I could, but I can't. Like that's what that number represented to him. And that's the same thing with their watermelon joke. Like I would say this word to you, but I can't. Like it's, yeah. I mean, it's like that.
Absolutely. Native atheist. He doesn't look like a pipsqueak. Speaking of insults from the 90s, I love it.
It's tough to follow this audition for the next Commissioner Gordon's over here. It is, though. It's crazy times we're living in. I mean, all these pointless wars. It is unbelievable what's happening right now. It is incredible. Ukraine versus Russia, Israel, it's like bad soccer games. Who even cares? What are we doing? Why is our money involved in these wars?
What are you talking about?
Like bad soccer games. Who even cares?
Who cares about genocide? Jay, like why do we even pay attention?
See, I don't even, he's getting into some stuff I didn't even know he said, but I'm like, whoa, like that was a whole nother level of fucked up. I mean, literally just to literally trivialize genocides and to actually, because to imagine how insulting it is if your village just got bombed, like he just compared it to a soccer game and then followed it up with who even cares. Because let me just be clear, that is racism stacked on top of racism. Really anywhere other than America, soccer is the most popular and important sport on the goddamn planet. Ironically, it was actually invented in England, but it is certainly a much bigger game internationally than it is in America. And so it's so to even give it the, oh, it's like a soccer game, who even cares? That's would be insulting in the sense of deriding what's culturally significant to other other nations and other parts of the world, and but you don't care as much because it's not football or whatever. But then to actually compare the war to the soccer game and then literally say, who even cares?
Yeah, and I
Oh my goodness.
like Tsunami's comment here. It's like it's the country is responding to an illegal occupation. Like it's so much more than that. But also, here's why we care. You guys may remember Obama getting a Nobel Peace Prize. And that's because when Russia used to be like a whole thing, the Ukraine, as it was known at the time, was where they kept their nukes. When it broke up and all those states formed different countries, Ukraine was one, and they kept the nukes. Like, why wouldn't you? So Obama gets into office, and part of a worldwide effort is trying to get nukes out of the world. For what it's worth, Obama was able to do that with Ukraine. Part of the deal was that we would protect them if something were to happen where they would have otherwise been needed, or felt that they it would have protected them. We will protect you. I'm going to take your gun. I have a gun. I'll protect both of us. That's the deal.
Yep.
That was part of the deal. That was part of our promise to them when we stripped them of their weapon. And now, like, they're like, okay, I trust you. And what do we just say? Psych? Right. I don't. And what people like this don't understand is, like, the only reason, like, we're able to do a lot of things is because we have the world currency. And the reason, we have the world currency because we happen to be the strongest at the end of World War II. And it, fell away from Britain, came over to us. And the only reason we still have it is because all the other countries agreed that, it's okay to allow us to have it. So there are a lot of things that we do as a country that the people don't like, but that we have to do to, like, stay in their good graces, because, like, if we're not the world currency, prices go up. Like, we're talking about probably the doubling of almost everything, certainly anything that we import, which is more things than you'd think. And also, you don't do that. Like, how do you maintain positive relations with any other? We just are global. Every nation is a global country now. We're part of a global network. Yeah. We're not going back from that. There's no, like, this whole, like, pipe dream that Republicans have where we, we'll just be America first and we'll grow all our stuff here and we'll do all the have all the jobs here and we don't need to go outside. That's not a thing. That is not a thing. It's never really been a thing. That's why people have been doing it for freaking centuries. Like, as soon as like we invented boats, we started trading. Like, it's never not been a thing. It will never not be a thing. Don't think that it could ever be a thing. So part of dealing with other people or countries, as you will, is having to deal with shit like this. It is right and good for us to fund Ukraine. And
honestly, I feel like if we were more serious about that would be more serious. If we really defended Ukraine right now, like an attack on Ukrainian soil was an attack on American soil, oh shit, would be a hell of a lot different. Yeah. If we really took the promise of never again, and then we saw Israel blow up a hospital in Gaza, and we took that like they just blew up a hospital in Ohio. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we wouldn't even be talking about Bibi Netanyahu right now. He'd be long gone.
I'm pretty sure if Israel actually blew up a hospital in Ohio, we'd make, somebody's finger slipped.
Oh, fine. Yeah. Oh, no, they would literally, they dig up a Hamas soldier.
Right.
You give him an AK-47 and like plant him there. And there was a Hamas headquarters under there. There was, crazy.
Yeah.
When it comes to Israel and Palestine, we're all thinking the same thing. Settle your stuff already. Best
No.
out of 3.
No.
Rock, paper, scissors.
I mean, Russia
You know the
could just
Palestinians are going to throw rock every time.
settle
Gang.
your stuff. I mean,
Gang.
settle your stuff. Like, they didn't provoke this.
Can
What the
you
hell?
just, I can't emphasize this enough. You just don't joke about these things. They're
No.
not funny. You don't joke about the R word. You don't joke about war. You don't joke about pandemics. You don't joke about genocides. You don't joke about marginalized groups. That's not funny. Punch up. Joke about your pastor. Joke about Trump and his crimes. Like, joke about the billionaires. But they can't do that. They're incapable
do
of
that.
punching up, so they're incapable of being funny. That's the theme. That's the theme. I just need people to get that in their head, that it's not funny to punch down. Yes, it will appeal to some people once in a while, and you could strike lucky and just get a clever play on words or something, but overall, content-wise, it's not funny. Please go back and watch the classic comedians. Seinfeld, Richard Pryor, Martin, anybody you like, Chris Rock, Kevin Hart. None of them tell jokes about these things because it's not funny. It's not funny.
We also know the Jews have a hard time throwing that paper. You know what I'm saying? All right, we're having fun now. We're cooking.
Is that what we're doing?
Is that seriously?
Hillary Clinton said that this is a Nazi rally here today.
And she
Yeah.
was right.
Yep.
The deplorables. The deplorables.
Can you believe that? For the most anti-war president of my entire lifetime, and she calls him Hitler.
Again, he has committed felonies, essays, all this stuff. He's walking around like a free man. She has committed no serious crimes at all. They're all chanting "lock her up," and then they wonder why we compare this to a Nazi rally.
I mean, we call it a Nazi rally because he's literally playing by the Third Reich playbook, like how
Literally.
they got into power. Like he's just like, all right, today's day, 364. What do we do? Like,
I think of them as the Fourth Reich. That is
Yeah.
how I think of MAGA. Yeah,
There's no
and I
reason
think
not
we
to.
should start treating them that way. Absolutely.
yeah, and including calling them Nazis. She's absolutely right there.
Let me remind you, Hillary, it was your husband who shot innocent people, or as he called them, interns. Yeah, Hillary, I bet you did not see that one coming. By the way, if I
better
commit
if
suicide
they're
in 3
like,
weeks, I didn't.
if they're strippers,
And again,
imagine
voting for Trump and making fun of Bill Clinton for not being faithful to his wife, and making fun of Hillary for standing by his side. Imagine. Melania literally just watched Trump go through trial for paying off a porn star to cheat cheat the last election. And you know what Donald Trump is doing right now, y'all? He's trying to pay off Stormy Daniels again.
Yeah.
Right now, he's trying to pay her off.
While he's flaunting Lori Loomer in like everyone's face.
Yes. And we're gonna tell Monica Lewinsky jokes. All right.
I mean, it's just obvious to me who the right candidate is. There's a guy out here dodging bullets. It is unbelievable, right?
I guess he's got to make up for old times,
He took it right in the ear.
Those bone spurs.
Unbelievable. I thought about this. I don't know if you have. Coolest place to get shot. Like if you're gonna get shot anywhere on your body, that's where you want it. Right there. Technically, he got shot in the head, depending on if you're a Democrat or a Republican. Right? If you're a Democrat, his ear was grazed.
You need to look yourself in the...
Yeah. Well, the truth is his ear was grazed.
I mean, that's literally what happened. Like, are we so we're going with he was shot in the head, not by the head. He was
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And the other thing is, I don't think he was shot. I just, gang, that part of your ear does not grow back. If it is sincerely damaged, it's not going to get back. It's gonna scar. If it gets hit by a bullet, a piece of it's going to be missing, and it's just not gonna grow back. But if a piece of glass happens to just cut your skin, a superficial flesh wound. So I don't know, but I think it bothers me that they never really did a full investigation, that they never released it, and I think from what the reports are is Trump shut that down, and I suspect he did it because he did not want the actual forensic details getting out because they would have undermined his hero narrative. But the weird thing is just the cult sycophantness of the, what a cool place to get shot. What an awesome guy. I mean, if you're gonna get shot anywhere, I mean, didn't Trump get shot in like the most badass place to get shot? I mean, first of all, let me just tell you, it's really weird as a commentator. It's just like we're in a weird, bizarro cult land things to say. But the other thing is like, it's a gross dehumanization of your own candidate. For those that don't know, like I spent a lot of time as an intern for Cory Booker. I've known him since I was 11 or 12 years old. It's a long time. Like he's done a lot for me, and I've worked really hard for him. And he's a presidential hopeful. I would be horrified if someone made an attempt on his life, and I would never, ever joke about it. Ever. I know that man's parents and he knows mine. Never, never, never. So there's something, it just shows you the weirdness that like whatever normal personal relationships grow over the course of a campaign or years involved in a political movement, like you never grew to even see Trump as like a real human being who like it's not funny to joke about an attempt that was made on his life. If this is your guy, if this is your guy, it should not be funny to you that somebody tried to take him out. And it's weird.
It is. And I keep thinking about like what he said about John McCain, who, say what you will about his politics, that was a true war hero. Like the man didn't even like he allowed himself to get captured just to stay with his men. Went through torture, couldn't raise his arms over his head beyond so high, and just ridiculed by his own party. But getting your ear raised, that's so badass.
And and I'm almost like, how are we supposed to take it seriously if you're sitting here joking about it? Like, wow. All right, hang on.
Yeah. If you're a Democrat, his ear was grazed. If you're a Republican, he survived a headshot. It is. It's the best place to get shot. It's the only part of the human body will drive a piercing through like a little girl's ear for no reason. Right? There's just it heals fast. Nobody cares.
Nope.
It's the best place to get shot. He went down.
Surprise, surprise. They're wrong about biology. I know, you're shocked. I know.
Saw blood on his hands. I'd imagine he thought right then, I think I just won this shit.
And he was wrong.
Stands up and says the most American words I've ever heard in my life. No. Before that, there was one more. Let me get my shoes. Fearless.
This is just cult. This is just more cult. Like that wasn't a joke. There wasn't anything substantive about it. And it didn't even register with the audience. How is let me get my shoes? Like, I mean, it's It's nothing. It's literally just you love Trump. You think him surviving that bullet was great. Let's just relive it. That's what this is. This is literally just reliving a story. It's told in the form and structure of a joke, but it's not actually a joke. There's no punchline. It's just, no, he said something before that, and then he says what he actually said. Like it's literally just, let's just reminisce. That's what this is. Let's reminisce.
Perhaps still with an active shooter, he's talking like a guy that just had the best one-night stand of his life, right? Like, where's my shoes at? I gotta get the hell out of here.
Really? That's
Let me get my
what you
shoes.
do after the best one-night stand of your life? Okay.
Yeah.
And then the fight.
I'm
What
like,
he did was
I normally need a smoke, but yeah, you might grab your shoes. All right.
I know. That's what I was thinking. I was like, man,
Smoke, grab a drink.
I don't even smoke, but I need one.
Yeah,
Like, that's
exactly.
what it's just like, I mean, I'm thinking maybe the worst experience of your life is where you're like, where's my bra?
Wait, Maya, you know what I realized about this joke, about him
Right.
and his audience?
Mm-hmm.
They don't know how one-night stands work.
Right,
so
right.
cool that Biden got COVID. Oh yeah. Go back. Look at the timeline of everything again. 3 days after that. That means that Biden, he didn't get that from hanging out with sick people. He was in a sterile room in the White House watching blood running down Trump's face as he pumps his fist. Biden's like, oh, fuck. Oh, God, no. It's true.
I don't
Again,
understand this.
Or Biden got sick at the NAACP event and could have also got a lot of people sick. And I actually think that's a problem.
Virus real now? Like,
Yeah, that's what I'm just saying. It's like weird. It's another weird thing to joke about because, again, I don't have any love for COVID jokes, y'all. I lost family members during COVID, and I always worry about people in my family when they travel.
Yeah.
But my dad's ex-wife, who was traveling with him, actually did get COVID at the same event Biden got COVID at, and she was sick for quite a while. So again, like, I just don't get why this is funny.
right.
It's just, of course.
Trump survived an assassination attempt and Biden got COVID. We vote next week. God voted 3 months ago.
What?
How I don't even
What?
understand. I don't even.
I don't look. If you haven't voted already, or for those of you, I mean, I don't know. Maybe those of you who did understand this more, but like, and for those of you who are waiting for election day, that's great. That's great. Whenever you get to the polls, just as long as you get there, that's great. What you will not find on the ballot is Joe Biden. So, for this thing that happened last night, I don't understand why we're talking about everyone except the person whose name is on the ballot. Like, I'd almost like if they were like, I'm not saying that they should say anything negative about anyone, honestly, but like if you're gonna like Biden, Clinton, like he's not running against these people anymore. What are you actually doing? Yes, Karen. Thank you. See, she is awake and aware. Like,
Yeah.
I don't like. I don't.
Oh my goodness!
understand
Speaking
this
of awake
comedy.
and aware, there was like a CPAC over the weekend or something, and
Okay.
one of their speakers came out there, and they were like, "Americans have woken up, and they are wide awake." And I was just like, "Oh my goodness!" He said like 2 or 3 things, and I was like, "Oh my goodness!" He's literally saying that Americans are woke, and he doesn't even realize it. It's like it was just so. It was just so, I mean, like yelling it. Like it was just so, like they just have no self-awareness. None.
Yeah.
None.
Another great Austin, Texas resident, Elon Musk, will be speaking here later today.
Gang, you heard it here first. I'm worried about Elon's particular brand of dark MAGA. I'm not just worried that I'm not just worried about him funding Trump. He can't run because of his immigration status, ironically.
Right.
But I think he could be a power broker and power player for them for
Wait, who?
a long time to come. Elon Musk.
Oh,
Yeah, I worry about
he has a
Elon.
lot of money.
He has a lot of money and he's real dumb. So
Yeah, bad combination.
yeah, and I think if Trump is defeated, there's going to be a real power void that he would like to see his money fill.
But also, what do you call it?
Because remember how Trump, sorry, did you know Trump is promised to make him like the head of government efficiency or something, right?
I heard something about that.
So now it's like whoever else wants to pony up to Elon in future is going to have to make him similar or greater offers, right?
They just have to make him believe it is.
Oh, Carrie Ann, who has been so great to see in chat, of course.
Mhm.
Carrie Ann said that he's named in Project 2025 initiatives as a leader. I didn't know that.
Really? I did not know that.
I did not know that. That's because it's like the Bible. They bury so much nonsense.
Oh my
in
God,
there.
yeah, it's like 925 pages. I haven't read none of it, but like I haven't gotten through 925 pages of it. And it's for me at least, it's a hard read because like it's horrible.
Yeah, no,
Like,
the summary
it's
is
just like I need
enough. Yeah.
like I need a drink. It's bad. But another thing is somebody was it it was Carrie Ann. It's like how the does getting COVID make somebody not chosen by God? So I remember Trump getting COVID right before he was not elected last time. Certainly not going to bring that up, are we? But yeah. Oh no, we got sick. Only weaklings get sick. I don't understand what I could see the right thinking that. And actually it was a thought that went through Trump's head while he was in the hospital with COVID. He didn't want people, like the reason that he left the hospital and went in the limo and waved to the people that were on the street is he didn't want them to think that he was weak. He wanted them to see him strong, even though like it made him weaker. So I don't know, like I guess it's some kind of call to that, like getting sick means that you're weak, but
It's just so weird. Honestly, like so many of their jokes, like they're just not funny, but also a lot of them just don't make sense. Like I'm like, I don't get it. Like I think you need a certain degree of like in-group thinking to like, for it to resonate.
Yeah, exactly. It's so funny because it's not like us.
Yeah, pretty much.
Unbelievable. Genius. You guys saw him shoot that rocket into outer space, the largest aircraft ever, fires it off into space, and then parallel parks it back to planet Earth. Meanwhile, Kamala supporters can't parallel park their Toyota Priuses properly.
But see, but you see it there, right? That's going to be the narrative. Oh my goodness, he's an uber genius. He's so smart. He can make rockets, and the rocket will return itself to Earth. If y'all think Elon builds rockets, oh my goodness.
I mean, if you're putting Elon in charge of anything, I'm pretty sure we're going to see more electric cars. While you're dumping on Priuses. I'm just saying.
Yep. And yeah, Elon.
And maybe Priuses go away and there's more Teslas, but guess what? There's more electric cars.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like Elon's so
Prius a hybrid. You don't even get, with the Tesla, you don't even get your precious gasoline.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No. I wouldn't have anything to say. Right,
I have a hybrid car. It's great on gas mileage. I love them. I just, I don't understand like I guess I do because like oil barons like fund the right. And so like we have to pretend like climate change isn't a thing so that we can I'm trying to be a good girl. I really am, so that we can appease, the oligarchs. But it just really is a thing. And I remember not too long ago when we wanted to leave a world better than we inherited for our children and grandchildren, and I don't know why that's funny
But
and weak
Carrie-Ann, this
now.
is giving me the vibe. Carrie-Ann said the people who brought their children to lynchings and had picnics. That's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
vibes. That's
yeah,
the
yeah,
vibes.
yeah.
That is absolutely the vibes.
I could totally see all these people doing that. Even the black guy with the hat, or maybe he has a weird hairstyle. No, who
With the
knows?
whatever he has on.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I listen to Elon Musk. I follow his lead. The world's smartest, richest man has my
What?
attention.
What? Oh my
Except
goodness.
for when it comes to
gross.
stock trading,
Smartest
then I
man.
listen to Nancy Pelosi.
But technically it's her
censorship
husband,
is
but whatever.
amongst us people. It's a very, very, very big deal, and I'm just here to say that you guys are for the right candidate. Tell your friends. Let's close it out, and let's make speech free again. Make America healthy again. Let's beat the team from California. The team from New York should beat the team from
There you go.
California, not only in this election, but in the World Series of Baseball, America's sport. I love you, New York. God bless New York. God bless America. Let's make it great again. I
Yeah,
love you.
it's
Thank
really
you. Welcome.
cute. New York
It's-
and California are going to be on the same team. It's
It's kind of disgusting to say all that and then say God bless America. I mean, it's gross.
I mean, it's kind of, almost like an American white nationalist salute anymore.
It really is. Yeah.
Because, it's you have to be white and Christian to be a real American. And I mean, oh my gosh. He was saying something that I wanted to speak on, and I forget what it was, but it was just, I don't know, the whole thing.
For me, it's just interesting that I just think, well, there was so much there. There was
I
so
know.
much, there was so
I
much
should have took
violence.
notes, but
But
because there was a lot there, and he was saying things, and my mind was jumping around, and I'm like, oh crap!
but
And
the thing
now
I
my
want,
mind is like just shut down. It's like he's gone. All like.
but the thing I want people
panic
to
mode.
notice is when you hear people talking about it, ask yourself, do they mention the anti-black racism he threw in the middle of there? A lot of times you will hear them, they'll talk about other vile things. And it's just weird. It's just like nobody wants to talk about racism against black people anymore. But like I said, and I was glad you were here to validate it, that section in there, oh, it's like a Diddy party. Oh, y'all want me to talk about the black guy? Oh, what's up with that weird black guy? Oh yeah, we were hanging out carving. Gang, that was so offensive.
Yeah.
Literally, like I said, we're literally back to watermelon and fried chicken jokes, and it's horrifying in 2024, and it's even more horrifying that people want to ignore it, act like it's not happening, and then pretend like there's some other legitimate reason to support these people. Ignoring.
I mean, just the people who watch this and are just like, this is fine. That bothers me.
Yeah, me too. And I will say this: ignoring bigotry, ignoring prejudice, because it's not going to affect you. So there's some other concerns. That is itself a form of bigotry and prejudice.
Right.
Because you're saying my preference on the border, my preference on tax policy, my preference on the economy is more important than the material conditions of other people's lives who are less fortunate than me.
Right.
And beyond that, you're lying, and those policies are only mentioned as an excuse to support the fascist, racist, bigoted regime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so hard to make a point without like doing anything that sounds like I'm endorsing one person over another. But I think it is really important that when you're looking at, for this election, try to keep the big picture in mind. There's never going to be a candidate that is going to be with you lockstep. There's never going to be a candidate that will allow you to, sit at home, watch your cat videos, and you'll know that they're going to have, your interest in mind while you're sleeping, right? What I say to everybody is vote for the person that you want to fight with, because we're so far away from perfection that's and this actually is what the system is designed for. The system is designed to be mobile, right? We started with a system that was set up to support white male landowners, and the Black people had to fight for what they had, and the women had to fight for what they had, and just so many different groups, and the LGBT has had to fight for what they have and things like that. We have to think about long term, because how we got where we are now is because one group saw something and they were like, we don't like this, we're going to fight until. And it was a 40-year fight for them, to get Roe off the books. And now they've got their eyes, we're looking at Project 2025, and they've got their eyes on more stuff. And they're totally cool with that coming in another 40 years. We've got to stop thinking about, swiping right on injustice. And we've got to start thinking about what it takes to get what we want. And it's not going to be, well, this person isn't going to get me what I want, so I'm not going to do anything at all. You put in the person that you're most likely to work with, and then you reach out to them. And if you are from Arizona, I am so freaking proud of you for what you did to Kyrsten Sinema, because that's what it needs to look like. We need to think about taking out corporate Dems, even, and I'm not saying who is and isn't one, sure. But when we see people that we put you into office and you are not aligned with our interest, we're primarying you.
Yep. With
someone who will. And, to the point where you can't even run as anything else. Like, she's not even running as an independent because she can't even siphon enough voters to diminish the amount of attention from one side or the other.
Right.
And we need to start thinking strategically like that. And the person that's replacing her, we don't know yet, but
we could do the same thing today.
Yeah. But that's what they did, and that's what we do. And that person's whichever side it is, they're not going to be perfect. They're not going to do exactly what the right wants, if it's the right wing candidate, or what the left wants if it's the Democratic candidate. They're still going to have to, schedule office hours. They're still going to have to say, hey, we're missing X, Y, and Z. We're going to have to do that too. There's nobody that's going to get into office and just give us, healthcare for all, or, right. Or increase the minimum wage, or, reform the tax code, or, the voting laws. We might get one, we might get 3 or 4, but just everything we want all in one administration, that's not a real, that would be great. That would be great. If we find somebody like that, we should definitely vote for them. We need to figure out who's going to give us the most, or who's going to be the most malleable, and that's how you vote. I think last election cycle they were like, you know what, just because you can't find a bus that'll drop you off at the door doesn't mean you don't take the job. You get the job, you have the bus that takes you the closest, and then you fight to get a bus that'll get you closer. And before you know it, you'll be like, man, remember when Bernie seemed progressive? That's
yeah,
those crazy days,
It's the only way. It's the
But
only
it
way.
is a slow crawl. It's always been a slow crawl. It has always been a slow crawl. And I need people to start getting, focused on that. And I know that for a lot of us, it seems like, man, I can't do a slow crawl. I need something now. I feel you. But voting for somebody who won't listen to you at all isn't going to help you get any closer to that. Not canceling out a vote for somebody who is going to vote that person in. If nothing else, you're canceling out a vote for somebody who's going to get that person in. And, not doing that is not going to help you get what you need either. So let's all agree that we're going to figure out which side is going to get us close to what we want. And we're going to cast our ballot for that person. And, and we're going to go from there, whether it looks like, marching on the streets, writing, letters, making phone calls, going, I'm not too far from Washington, D.C. If you want me to, I don't know, drop off a letter to your congressman. I don't know that they'll listen to me, but whatever I can do. Or if you're coming in and you need bodies to help you protest, I'm there too. Whatever it's going to take, because it's not going to be one thing. It's never going to be just one thing that gets us there. It's going to be a combination of all of the things. But in bulk, we have to stand together. That's the only thing that's going to get us to the goal. So I really want everybody to be mindful of that as we move forward, and just to do what you can. You can, if you can vote, you should. If you can write a letter to your congressman, you should. If you can go to their office, whether it's in DC or in your area, your local area, they have offices in both places. You should. And
Yeah, and make sure you vote. And if you can, volunteer, bring a friend, talk to your neighbors, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Remember,
don't be complacent.
Skeptic Haven does not endorse any candidates or particular parties, but we do remind you elections have consequences. And thank you all so much for tuning in. I want to thank the mods. I want to thank all the people in the chat. If you're watching later, please leave us a comment. And of course, I want to thank the lovely Maya Adkisson for joining me. And I want to send another apology to my man, Stan Gray. I reached out to Stan and I'm trying to reschedule him for our next episode. So we'll do that. All right, let me take care of some Skeptic Haven business. Don't forget to check out our other shows on Skeptic Haven. Monday's the Black Freethinkers, Thursday the Sunny Spot, Saturday the Global Atheist and Women Atheists Unload, and then there's Let's Talk on Sunday. And a special thank you to our patrons: Paul Camish, Helen Greene, Logan Fisher, Amanda McLeod, Eric Ozols, Rion, Deneen Murphy, Dan D, Michael Wiseman, Sunny Shell, Aaron Coalson, and Phil Calderone. All right, gang. Love you guys so much. We'll hang out for a little bit, probably, and gather for the after party. Don't forget to check out the Maya Adkisson channel every Sunday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern for Bad Science Sunday. I'm at Pocket Locker 86. And of course, a special thank you to Skeptic Haven for allowing us to host a show on their platform. We really appreciate it. All right, gang. Love you. We'll see you next time.
Vote and bring a friend.
Vote and bring a friend. Said I'm gone.